is ROP. ROP, we suggest you to take notes because this is the most basic skill that a mother must know, and we will also have activities later on. So in order to get these fabulous gifts I'm holding right now, you'd better prepare. Okay, what is ROP? ROP is rules of procedures, but these three words tell you nothing. So what exactly is ROP? I'll give you 1 second to get your note paper. So, what is ROP? Take a look at these pictures. This is an extremely important document. This is a referee, and finally, instructions for a bathroom. Why do I show you these images? What do these images have in common? They are rules. Exactly. ROP is the rule for a MUN conference. It is the ultimate rule book that tells a mother what to do, when to do, and how to do. So it tells you when to start, when to speak, when to discuss, when to write, when to vote, and also when to pee. It also tells you what to speak, what to discuss, what to write, how to speak, how to discuss, how to write, but not how to pee. So, let us begin our session. I'll take you through a whole MUN conference to tell you exactly what does ROP tell you. First, let's look at an overview of the conference. You first start with a roll call. After roll call, you set the agenda. After setting the agenda, there's the general speakers list, which consists of which is the main component of a conference and consists of 4 parts. After that is the closure of debate, which closes the whole conference. And then we enter voting procedure to vote on the document that you support the most. Afterwards is adjournment of meeting, which closes up everything and lets everyone go home for bed. Okay, let's first look at roll call. What is a roll call? A roll call is countries called in alphabetical orders. It is used for the chair and for the body to know exactly which countries are present. So, for example, here you yell cinnamon, sordo, whole meat, and then they will respond with here or not here. And when your country is called upon, you can either say present or present and voting. What does present mean? Present tells the chair that there is a delegate holding a placard for your country, sitting right there in this room. The difference between this present and present and voting is that if you say present and voting, at the end of the voting procedure, when you vote for a draft resolution, you cannot abstain, which means you have to say either yes or no. We will talk about it later during the voting procedures, but remember these two differences because this is the very beginning of every session. Yes, every session. Because delegates might get lost during lunch, they might get flushed down the toilet during the session. So at the beginning of every session, we will need a roll call to make sure exactly how many countries are present and which countries are present. This is important because after roll call, the chair will announce simple majority, which is 1/2 majority, and 2/3 majority, which is 2/3. And aside from that, the chair will also announce the number of 1/5 of the countries present and 1/8 of the countries present. The first 2 points are for votings because some votings require simple majority and some votings require 2/3 majority. And these two, 1/5 and 1/8, is for document writing because for every document submitted, you need countries to sign the document. And this will become the number to which how many countries should be on these documents when you submit them. So this is the roll call. Next we have setting the agenda. What is setting agenda? It is a point where the committee decides which topic to discuss first. In many big conferences, one committee may have 2 or even 3 topics. Obviously you don't have time to discuss everything. So this is a time for the body to vote on which topic to discuss first. If you have time, you can discuss the second one, but usually you only have time for one. And so once roll call is done, the chair will ask, are there any points or motions on the floor? This is the point where you yell to the chair, motion to set topic X on top of the agenda. So this will become a motion. Chinese, it's 动议. It will become a motion for the committee to vote on. And the chair will require seconds. In Chinese, it's 复议. You understand? So after a motion is raised, the chair will open a speakers list. And during the speakers list, you will have 2 speakers for the motion and 2 speakers against the motion. For example, the chair, for example, I as delegate, I want to discuss South Sudan. I don't want to discuss, say Coney 2012. Then a motion is raised to discuss South Sudan. Then I will be a speaker for South Sudan. And for example, if Eva wants to discuss Coney 2012, she will speak against putting South Sudan on top of the agenda during this process. Is that understood? Good. After all the speakers are done, a delegate will raise a motion for closure of debate, which means that you think everything is discussed. Okay, we have a consensus. We want to vote now. So this part requires, this part will require 2 speakers against, which means that you think that there are still things worth discussing in the speakers list. Remember, being against is not against this motion. It is against the discussion to be continued. So you can also raise a technical against if the chair accepts. What technical against is that I am truly for this motion, but because the ROP requires the body to have 2 against, I will raise a technical against. So I'm actually supporting it, but I raise it just for the conference to continue. So that is technical against. This is quite important because for every closure of debate, the process is similar. After the closure of debate, we will vote on this motion for closure of debate. So this is not voting on the agenda. This is only for finishing the discussion. And if the vote fails, then we return to we return to the speakers list. And as the same, we will have speakers for and against. If the vote passes, then we will vote on the agenda. Here is the point where I will vote for yes, and Eva will vote for no. Remember my example? This is the point where you actually decide on which topic to discuss first. So this is the point where you should vote for the topic you want to discuss. And so once it has passed, if the motion passes, then the topic will be placed on top of the agenda and the committee will start discussing it. If not, then the committee will discuss another topic. Okay, so is that clear? Now let's look at a demonstration.